Some comments you made recently that have caught a lot of attention about maybe sort of going back, not complete the whole way, but a little bit back towards the World Series of fighting style you used to
Yeah,
have.
I just think the aggressive mentality. I think I just watched the Max fight today for the first time, and I think I fought really well. It's just he was so great that fought really well that night. And but even if I go back to that guy, I'm still a much more refined athlete. In my skills, and I think with that aggressive style and my skills being much more refined and much more accurate, that that's a dangerous combination.
And I'm sure you've seen the interview of Justin said the fight against you and the fight against Michael Chandler, maybe he had a safer approach to fighting. And he said that wasn't the right decision. A lot of fans are expecting him to be the old chaotic Justin Gaethje in there. So I'm curious, what type of Justin are you expecting on Saturday?
Doesn't matter. I like Justin who go forward, who make the house in a octagon. I like that. And I wait that from the first fight, but I'm going to the war, but he going to the win. And yeah, if he go like that, is make me more happy. More yeah. I'm just you telling me now. I'm like, oh wow, now I'm more excited.
What makes you rewatch it today?
I just figured it was about time.
Nice. Respect. Have you rewatched the first fight with Fiziev yet?
Yeah, I watched it the day that we decided we were going to fight him.
What were your takeaways from that, and what differences do you think you may have to make it a bit of an easier job out for you that night?
Yeah, I think. I wasn't looking at the fight for information. I was just, more putting myself in that mindset and that arena, And I think if I try to rely on things from that fight, then, if things go 100%, 180 the other way, it would be detrimental. I think my skills are ready. I think my preparation was fantastic. My cardio is definitely. I'm ready to push the pace, and I think I still have to be careful with this guy. He's so powerful. He's world class athlete, world class Muay Thai striker. He throws a lot of kicks, and I think I found success punching off of his kicks, and I think that will be something that I can use for the next fight.
So I wanted to go back to the rewatching the Max one today. Obviously, the ending the way that it was, I can imagine some guys would think on their fight week, oh, I don't want to see that and put that in my mind. What is it about you that makes you think?
Well, to be fair, I did stop it with 10 seconds left.
Okay.
I've seen that part plenty of times.
All right, and then what does a win here do for you? Obviously, I know you've taken this fight. You've done the UFC a favor by staying on the card. Can we get a title fight based off this?
I mean, as an athlete competing here, I have to think that. I hope that, but I have no idea. I have to go in there. I have to win. That's first and foremost. And, I'm always exciting, the most consistent guy that's ever stepped in there. So I think the way that I win and how my fights usually go, then I'll definitely be, a consideration for them.
Dan Hooker predicted that when he had this fight that the winner, he said the winner and loser are probably both going to the hospital. Obviously, now you're filling in for Dan. So are you expecting the same thing? Both you and Justin are probably in for a hospital visit after this fight.
Maybe. But hospital here, last time I go, this hospital is so crazy. We just staying in queue like how many? 4 hours, and we don't do anything. We go, I tell like, hey, I don't want to stay here anymore. We go home, So I don't want to go hospital this time. But it's true words. It's true words. When people like me and Justin going to the octagon, we always from the octagon have to go to some pharmacy.
You've entered fights, rematches coming off where you won the first one, the Luis Palomino, you won both of them. You rematched Dustin, you were trying to, erase that first fight. Now you're doing this again with Fiziev. You want to, prove that you were a better man the whole time. So is there a different approach to a rematch coming off a win the first time and a loss the first time?
I guess there probably would be if it was like the immediate next fight, but going through what I just went through, then I'm very reinvigorated when it comes to, and I understand that this sport is so dangerous. Watching that fight, there's so many shots that were so close to putting him out, or are really, really putting some damage on him. So I just have to, trust in what we're doing, what my coach has, instilled into me over the last 14 years, and just go from there.
And Fiziev was in here, and I asked him this question because when Dan, before he got hurt, he's saying, you know, it's almost a guarantee that me and Justin are going to go to the hospital after this fight just because of our fighting styles. Fiziev goes, God, I really do not want to go to the hospital again in Las Vegas. But he goes, the way me and Justin fight, we'll probably go to the hospital. So I'm curious if you have that same mentality, or you just hoping, you know, you go in there, smoke this guy, and you don't have to go to the hospital.
I mean, ideally, any fight, you know, you get a knockout in the first 10 seconds. That would be ideal. But I don't plan on going to the hospital. I'm just hoping that I'm alive and I can walk so I can golf with my dad and brother the next day. But I mean, I'm here. I'm here to go to war. You know, whatever that entails, then so be it.
Rafael, this is one of the longer layoffs of your career. Are you worried about ring rust at all?
Типа долго, не? Sometime yes, sometime I'm thinking like, oh, I very miss that, and sometime when we very miss for something, and when we try it first time after a long time, it's gonna be good. Yeah, maybe not easy, but always gonna be good. For me, it's like I very miss for that, very. And I know myself, like every time when I'm not trained long time, and first day I come back to training, I'm do like very nice training, and I feeling good, and I'm really enjoyed. So and this time I believe it's going the same. I'm really enjoyed, and with good energy. I miss that so much.
Were you ever offered a rematch against Gamrot?
So good. Yeah. They give me a rematch against Gamrot. The match February 1st in Saudi Arabia, and I say yes, let's go. But after everything changed, it's the same. Like sure, you fight February 1st against Gamrot. So I'm say yes, let's go. And like after few days or 1 week, I see he start to call out some Paddy Pimblet or somebody, and I think, oh my God, what happened? Like how it's happened? Like we have fight. So I'm ready. Before.
Do you find it kind of funny that technically he has the win over you, but you got this fight over Gamrot?
This is a justice, I think, because he not gonna fight me on February 1st. Yeah, and I'm taking this chance now.
Right here, Justin. Last two main events of the year ended in controversy with some eye pokes. In your last fight with Rafael, you did poke him in the second round. He said that kind of factored into his performance for the rest of the fight. He wasn't able to see. That's not really my question. I guess, how big of a problem do you think the eye poking is in this sport? And obviously, it's not up to the UFC, it's up to the commissions, but do you have a solution? Do you think a point should be taken regardless of intent?
No, I don't know. It's a tough one. You know, I got poked in the eye versus Max twice. I'll never tell you that I lost that fight because of that. I just think that's not the mindset that you can have. I think if we were skilled enough to poke someone in the eye, we'd be skilled enough to punch him in the chin. You know, it's just a crazy circumstance that happens. You know, we're constantly judging distance. Again, it's less than seconds, less than inches. It's completely intuitive, and so naturally, you're to defend yourself. You know, try to get your hands up, and that's mostly what's happening. Is just some.
Rafael over here. Obviously, you're coming off the bad injury against Gamrot in September of 2023. I know you just mentioned you missing being inside the cage during this long time, but are there any things in your mentality that maybe changed during this long layoff, or just anything you reflected on during this long layoff that changed your perspective on something?
Что там поменялось? Change, что? Oh yeah, I think I'm learned from first fight. Like I don't have to follow emotions. No have to follow your character. Sometimes have to forget about your character and stay cold. Yeah, and follow game plan.
Hello, sir. Rafa was here and he said that yesterday you met in Apex, and he thanked you because he doesn't understand why did you take this fight. So first of all, what was your conversation about, and did you have any doubts to fight him?
I love fighting. I got my ass knocked out last fight, and I'm dying to get back in there and get that back. At the end of the day, you know, all these guys are very, very dangerous. And, you know, we went through our options. I, you know, wanted Sarukian or Oliveira, but if I was them, I would never take the fight. And I do not blame them for that. Moicano piped up and then did not take the fight. That was my best option. and then it was just not fight. And I've been working so hard that that really wasn't an option for me. He just said thank you. I'm grateful for him too. He was halfway across, or probably more than halfway across the world, however big the world is. But and he took the fight. He came over here, so I applaud him for that. And I love to perform, and I'm ready to perform. So I wasn't, I was trying to make it happen.
Awesome. And obviously your opponent, he's coming off a war and a knockout loss against Max last year. Given how that fight went, do you see him being any more vulnerable to anything you throw his way, or do you think we'll see just the same version of him every time he steps in?
I think I don't think it's changed him. It's tough, yeah. It's hard. I think it's very hard to come back after knockout like he have, but he do it all his life. I think he sit in a home, think about that, forget about that, and come back to camp and training and come back to fights.
Speaking about your last fight, I asked Rafa if your fight at Saturday night will go to the final seconds. Will he point down to the point his finger to the center of octagon and try to fight with you like Max did? If there will be such a situation, would you accept this challenge from him?
If you've ever seen me fight, you'll know I will accept that challenge every single time. When he pointed to the ground, I said yes and ran to the middle. So absolutely.
Awesome. And last one for me, obviously, fans have seen you throw out some unique call-outs at times, even talking to Hasbulla after your fight. Do you think we'll see any of that this weekend if it goes your way, or is that all behind you now?
Yeah, this week I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking what I do after this fight. I'm prepared something funny, something you like, guys.
And the last one from me, Rafa says that he was quite surprised because in betting companies he's going as a favorite.
It's not something I can control. It's crazy. I'm 6-3 as an underdog, so I love being the underdog.
He
It
said the
actually
same.
suits me better. I love when people count me out. Being a competitor, every single one of us that get to this level is probably a petty motherfucker in a way, because you don't come here, you don't push through the things that we push through. If you don't take things personal, everything's personal. It sucks for the commentators because they kind of have to pick a side, but no matter, it's either you're on my team or I'm trying to kill you, and not literally, but I'm trying to beat you. Whether that's your family, I'm not. You're not on my team, then I don't care about you in these instances and in these moments.